Hi everybody, it's Enrica and today is June 19th, 2012, so happy Juneteenth to everybody. It's been a really long time since I've made a video, really long time, close to 3 months. And it's funny because I actually did make two videos, I think it was like week 12 and week 13, and they were sitting on my laptop desktop and I'd been meaning to upload it and I just never got around to it. And then I told myself, okay, I'm so behind. Maybe I should do like a 1 month update video, and it just never happened. So I wanted to take the time to catch up. A couple of things have been going on. Part of the reason why I haven't made a video, work was really hectic. I was working and then I had an after-school program and I was doing some homebound schooling with a student, and by the time I was finished with that and I would go to the gym, I'd be getting home close to 8 p.m. every night. So it's just been a blur these past couple of months. First I want to talk about some things that have happened, I guess, with my diet over the past few months and with my exercising. First thing is the diet. Up until about a month ago, I really wasn't doing horribly with my diet. I wasn't writing everything down, but I was meeting protein goals. I made sure I had at least one good protein meal, liquid meal, and then I just tried to really focus on lean proteins, chicken, fish, shrimp, turkey, stuff like that for the other meals, some vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. It was about a month ago that things kind of started to go haywire. I didn't go off the deep end too bad, but I noticed I was eating out a little bit more. Started working in carbs. Shouldn't have. Not like I purposely worked it in, but I noticed myself snacking on carbs more often. I had caffeine. That's been happening quite consistently. Just things like that. I really didn't go overboard as far as sugar or fried foods. I stayed away from, but it still wasn't good. One thing that I've been able to stick with is no more red meat and no pork, which has been since surgery. And that I've stuck to. I mean, I was pretty adamant about not working in red meat or pork into my diet, just because I'm not really that big of a meat person anyway, and I figured this was the perfect time for me to work those out on my diet. So that was easy to stick to. The carbs and stuff like that, not so great. Every once in a while I did find myself kind of indulging in a dessert or something like that. It started off with me wanting to kind of test to see how I would react to sugar. Kind of dumb. But you know, I didn't go crazy. I don't have the sweet tooth that I used to have, but I noticed every once in a while I'd, try something just to try it because it'd been so long. With my exercising, I've been going to the gym. I stopped, I took a break from my strength training. I had talked to my physiologist and I told him, I'm just kind of getting bored of the same routine. 6 days a week was really a lot. So he said, well, just give your body a break for a while and then go back into it. And sometimes that's enough for your body to kind of get shocked and react a little bit differently to the exercise if I've hit a plateau. So I stopped doing strength training and then I was only focusing on my circuit boxing. Love it. I was doing that 3 days a week and doing good at that. I mean, it's great work. But then the past 2 weeks I haven't gone to the gym. Reason being, I'd been out of town, and this is actually something that I mentioned in one of my previous videos. I think it was week 12. I had said that summer was coming up. This was back in March. I was already worried about summer coming up, and with my schedule changing, being a teacher, and I have the summer to myself. I'm single, no children. It's kind of easy to get off target and off track. So that was my fear. I also knew that I would be traveling a bit, so I was wondering how I would handle that. So the past 2 weeks I have been out of town. I went to Kansas, I went to Albuquerque, spent some time with my dad, friends, things like that. And I won't say that I went crazy, but it was really hard for me to get exercise in. So the past 2 weeks I haven't exercised. Rode a bike a couple of times, went for a few walks, but it hasn't been anything consistent. So today actually is the day that I'm going to be going back to the gym. After 2 weeks, it's going to be fun. let's see. So that's pretty much it for the past 2 months. I'm not going to bore you with like week by week weight loss. I'll go ahead and just down here, I'll put, for the past, I guess, week 14 up to, I'm not sure what week this is, I'll put weekly how much weight I've lost if you're interested in that. This week, I will say, I weighed in this morning, I lost 3 pounds, which is kind of good because I've fallen into a slump where I've lost about a pound a week. I call it a slump because it kind of feels like a slump to me. I haven't plateaued. There hasn't been a week that I haven't lost any weight since, oh God, back in March. So I'm grateful for that. But I just feel like things have really started to slow down. Let's see. I was going to say something else. Oh, well, I will say that right now my weight is 218. So the last time I did a video, which was March 30th, I was 242. So do the math. I honestly don't know the number right now off the top of my head, but I'll put that stuff down here. Okay, so let's talk about my next topic, and I actually made a list for myself because there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Back in April, the end of April, I went to I think it was like it was supposed to be a 3-month checkup with my surgeon, but it actually fell later than 3 months. And he was happy with my weight loss. He actually said it was adequate. I was kind of hoping for more. I don't know what I was wanting from him, but he said I have lost 29% of my excess body weight. He said that's on track. It should be around 30%, so I'm right there. And he's going to see me again at the end of July, which is in 5 weeks from now. He had wanted me to lose another 30 pounds. So far, I've lost 15 pounds of that. I'm kind of behind a little bit. So I have 15 pounds to lose in 5 weeks. I've been really actually panicking about it, actually since he told me. I was okay with things and going my own pace when there wasn't that over me, that I've got to do this, I've got to meet this goal. As soon as it was kind of like dictated, okay, you need to lose this much in this time frame, things started to change. And I've talked to a couple of people, and everybody tells me the same thing. As long as you're feeling great, you're losing weight, you're not putting the weight on, just be happy with whatever progress you make. But the thing with me is that that's not how I work, I guess, mentally. And pretty much I talked to the nurse and the dietitian, and they said, he says that because he knows that you'll strive for it, and you'll at least lose more than if it was just you on your own trying to lose the weight. Some sort of, I guess, good pressure, trying to up the ante for me. But I don't work like that. If someone tells me that I have to meet a certain goal, I'm going to do everything that I can to meet it or exceed it. So, yeah, I know, daddy issues. I have to. I can't go in there and not lose the weight and have him say, oh, it's adequate again. I need to, at least for myself, I might not hear it from him, and I know this isn't about getting that kind of affirmation from somebody else, but at least for myself, I need to know he set this goal on me and I met it. So, with having said that, what I have to do is I'm back on a liquid diet, and I'm actually going to be on this liquid diet for 5 weeks. Sounds really extreme. It started off in my head, a couple of reasons why I wanted to do it. The weight loss part, meeting that goal is a big part of it, but with having caffeine, and I know I shouldn't be, I'm starting to crave it again. And I've noticed, if I go 2 days without it, I start to get headaches. And I'm starting to crave really salty, carby things all the time. And so I was thinking, okay, in my head I was thinking, if I go on a liquid diet, 2 weeks, I'll purge my body, I'll get those things out of my system, and maybe things will be easier for me. Then I was sitting in a support group meeting, and I talked to my nurse afterwards, and she listened to me, she heard me out, and she said, well, that's not a bad idea. I do recommend that you talk to the dietitian and then see what she says. So I talked to the dietitian, and she actually gave me a really good answer, really good information. She said that when you start, it starts like a vicious cycle. When you start to eat more things that have carbs, sugars, things like that, it increases your insulin production in your body. And the more your body produces that insulin, the more it craves carbs, sugars, things like that. So you trigger a cycle. And if you go over a certain amount, which of course they outline for me, when you get something, try to keep sugars at 5 grams or whatever it is, try to keep carbs between this amount. So she did talk to me about that stuff and outline that stuff for me. I thought it was for weight loss purposes. I didn't realize it would start this kind of chain reaction in my body with insulin and all of these cravings. So having knowing it now, I feel a lot better about being educated in the future. And I actually feel really good about kind of going through this little pitfall that I went through, because at least I've learned from it. I didn't gain any weight back, and I'm really happy and proud to say that over, I think I'm on like 5 months now. There has been 2 weeks only that I haven't lost any weight, that 0 pounds that week, only 2 weeks. But there's never been a week that I've gained weight, so I'm really happy about that. But I do need to step back, and I do need to learn from this, because it's really easy to say, okay, I've lost weight, I'm eating less, I'm going to run with this, I'm going to do things on my own. That's what I don't want to fall into, because I really don't want to be okay and lose weight, but then have these little lifestyle habits start to sneak back in little by little by little. You don't see them until months down the road and pounds gained. And that's how I got to the point where I needed surgery. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't like I just binged and binged and binged. I mean, it was like little lifestyle changes that got bigger and bigger and bigger. So at least I can recognize it now and stop it now. So that's that. Let's see. So, okay, this is how it's going to be. My liquid diet is going to work out. 2 weeks straight liquid diet. I think I'm like on 700 to 800 calories a day. Just protein shakes 3 to 5 times a day. That's it. I mean, I know it sounds horrible. I'm not looking forward to it. Today's my first day. I'm like, great. I'm going to be going through withdrawals and crabbiness and ugh. So, but I did it before. I did it before surgery, and I know I can do it now. After that, the next 2 weeks, the phase is going to be 2 liquid meals and 1 regular meal. So I start to ease food back in. After that point, I go on to 1 week of 1 liquid meal and 2 regular meals. And from there on, that's my recommended diet plan. I'd really try to get away from taking any kind of protein over the past few months. I actually came close to it. And but what I was doing was I was taking kind of like a little bit of protein, and I was having 3 meals. If I'm going to have protein, I was told that has to be a meal. So I got to stick to that. So again, it's all an exercise and learning. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I'm not going to be in a great mood the next couple of days. So that's why I'm making my video now, because not only am I going to go through withdrawals with caffeine, which I already feel, I have like a horrible headache, food withdrawals and cravings and my insulin levels kind of all out of whack, but I'm also going back to the gym after 2 weeks, and yikes. The combination of those two things are, I should just kind of like sequester myself and put myself in a padded room, and I'm not going to be human for the next couple of days, but it's for a good goal, and I can do it. I've done a lot so far, so it's not one of these things like, oh, I'm not going to make it, or I'm already doubting myself. I will meet that weight goal. And if I don't, at least I know that I've done everything in my power to meet that goal. Okay, so let me go on to my next part, which is a little bit more uplifting. One thing that I did want to mention, really my diet, like I said, there hadn't been anything before, the liquid diet thing. There hadn't been anything new. I was, like I said, staying away from pork and red meat, fried foods, desserts for the most part. Maybe like once or twice a month I'd indulge in something, a little bit of sweets. But one thing that I have done that I want to mention is I've kind of started adding stuff to my water. So this is my bottle of water, and what it has in it, you can see, is slices of cucumbers and mint. And this is actually something that I saw a lady at my work. She always carried these water bottles in, and they always had something different in them. Finally, I asked her, is that helping you? Because it would be like slices of oranges, lemons and limes, sometimes strawberries. I think one time she had mango that was cut up in the water bottle, and then of course the mint and cucumber. And she said, yeah, it was really great. She had seen it on Pinterest. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now. I have to continue in a second video.